Good morning. Welcome to the class of 2025 to your white coat ceremony. Please join me in a round of applause to thank our campus events team and the amazing staff of the School of Medicine Office of Medical Education who were here several hours ago drying your seats and finalizing the details of today's special event. Thank you also to the families, mentors, significant others, faculty, and role models who are responsible for helping you arrive at this important destination. For those of you in the audience invested in a future doctor in these front rows this morning, today represents a moment of what we in medicine like to call an acute exacerbation of a chronic condition. Today is a day of acute on chronic pride. We share in that condition with you this morning and are already enjoying working with the students through the process of becoming a doctor. The late Dr. John Stone was the Dean of Admissions when I was accepted to medical school almost 30 years ago. He wrote a graduation poem for students at Emory in 1984, and Gaudiamus Igitur has been used to celebrate commencements at many schools of medicine since then. Today is a commencement of sorts. Not a graduation, but a beginning nonetheless. As we welcome you to the beginning of your journey in the profession of medicine, I am pleased to share some of Dr. Stone's words with you. For the heart will lead, for the head will explain, but the final common pathway is the heart, whatever kingdom may come. For what matters finally is how the human spirit is spent. For this is the day of joy, for this is the day to rejoice, for this is the beginning. Therefore, let us rejoice. Gaudiamus Igitur. Welcome to the profession of medicine, class of 2025. Remember, you are not alone. I would now like to introduce to you Dr. Taylor Triolo, CU School of Medicine, class of 2013, and president of the Medical Alumni Association.
Thank you. Good morning, class of 2025. It's my honor to welcome you to the University of Colorado School of Medicine. I'm Dr. Taylor Triolo, class of 2013, and the newly elected president of the CU Medical Alumni Association. I'm honored to be with you on this special day and thrilled to welcome you as new members of the Medical Alumni Association. Our members include graduates of the University of Colorado School of Medicine and its residency and fellowship training programs, former and present academic and clinical faculty, and current house staff and students, which includes you. So welcome to our family of alumni. The mission of the Medical Alumni Association is to help advance and influence the interest of our alma mater, support current medical students on their journey to becoming physicians, provide programs and opportunities for alumni to connect with each other and the School of Medicine, and to develop a lifelong alumni experience. This morning, you will receive your Littman 4 cardiology stethoscopes that have been generously provided by the alumni and friends of the School of Medicine. Please note that in your stethoscope box is a card with the name of the address of the physician who donated the funds to your stethoscope. After today's ceremony, I ask you to please take a moment to write a note using the enclosed thank you card and an email, if provided, to express your gratitude for the stethoscope. You will then turn your handwritten thank you card into the Student Life office and they can send it on to the person who donated the stethoscope. More information has been provided to you on the front of your stethoscope box after you get that. At the Medical Alumni Association, our mission statement talks about connection, and it's fitting that our alumni family has provided this tool to you for you to connect with and listen to your patients. In the over 200 years since stethoscopes were invented, they have symbolized trust, connection, and the physician-patient bond. Besides giving us critical clinical information, stethoscopes are a vital connection in our fast-paced and often stressful clinical environments that allow us to slow down and literally listen to our patients. And just like the connection and bond these stethoscopes create between a physician and their patient, let it serve as the reminder of the connection that we all have to each other. Here with me today to present your stethoscopes is immediate past president of the Medical Alumni Association and my mentor, Dr. Linda Williams, class of 1984. It's through her guidance and support that I'm here with you today, speaking as the youngest president of the Medical Alumni Association. And I think that's what really all of these connections we create with each other here in these times at CU at the School of Medicine. And that's really what it's all about. That idea of connection is what really attracted me to getting involved in the Medical Alumni Association as a student representative sitting in your seat, what seems sometimes like 12 long years ago and 12 not so long years ago. And as a student, to me, the alumni were a guiding force of what great potential could exist within my own path and career. Medicine is a trade that we hand down to each other from one generation of adult learners to the next. As physicians, we really do stand on the shoulders of the giants that became before us. So I encourage you to connect with your family of alumni as you begin this journey as physicians in training. So today, as you don your white coats and stethoscopes, we as a medical alumni want to express our confidence in your ability to carry on the noble tradition of doctoring, which is part scientific excellence and part the art of relationships. And we are here for you because it takes a team to become a doctor. And this journey should not be bared alone. Family, friends, mentors, faculty, peers, and we, the alumni, are here ready to lend a hand and support and always to listen. So congratulations, class of 2025, and welcome to the University of Colorado School of Medicine. I'd now like to introduce Dr. John J. Riley, Jr., MD, Dean for the School of Medicine and Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs.
Good morning, everyone. As you heard, I'm John Riley, Dean of the School of Medicine. I want to welcome again the class of 2025, who still look distressingly young, I have to say. And extend a warm welcome to the friends and family who were able to join us here in the audience. This is particularly meaningful to us for a number of reasons. One, first and foremost, is to welcome this class into the profession of medicine. But we didn't get to do this last year. And to be able to do this in person again, albeit each of you limited to 2 guests, is a real step towards a return towards normalcy for us. So I want to begin with a couple of numbers because then I want to ask you to recognize a group of people who's worked very hard. So we had over 14,000 applicants for the School of Medicine this past year. And all those applications were reviewed by members of our admission committee. And if you just do the math, that's a lot of work. So I want to ask the members of the admissions committee to rise and be recognized by all of us here and thank them for their hard work. And I especially want to thank Dr. Jeff Suhu. You are his first class, and he got a baptism by fire this year with a record number of applications. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the other people on the stage, starting with the chairs and representatives of the various departments. We have Dr. Vesna Todorovic, from Chair of Anesthesiology, Dr. Wendy Macklin, Chair of Cell and Developmental Biology, Dr. Richard Zane, Chair of Emergency Medicine, Kent Voorhees, representing Family Medicine, Dr. David Schwartz, representing the Department of Medicine, Dr. Ken Tyler, representing the Department of Neurology, Dr. Kerry Brega, representing Neurosurgery, Dr. Nanette Santoro, Chair of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Dr. Mark Petrash, representing Ophthalmology, Dr. Frank Scott, representing Orthopedics, Dr. Steve Daniels, representing the Department of Pediatrics, Dr. Angie Rivera, is the Chair of Physiology and Biophysics, and Dr. Gerald Chipdod, the Chair of Radiology. In addition to our clinical department and basic science department chairs here, we also have the leadership of the school on the stage here. Dr. Shanta Zimmer, who you just heard from, Senior Associate Dean for Education and the Associate Dean of Diversity and Inclusion. Dr. Brian Dwinell, the Associate Dean for Student Affairs. Dr. Jeff Druck, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs. Dr. Deborah Seymour, Assistant Dean of Student Affairs. the aforementioned Dr. Jeffrey Suhu, Dean of Admissions, Dr. David Ecker, Assistant Dean for Education for the Plains part of the curriculum that you all come to know and love over the next 4 years. Dr. Jennifer Adams, the Assistant Dean for Education for the Foothills part of the curriculum. Dr. Chad Stickrath, the Assistant Dean for Education for the Alpine part of the curriculum. Dr. Ann Philbrigge, our Senior Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs. Dr. Steve Lowenstein, who you'll hear from later, Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs. Dr. Suzanne Brandenburg, the Associate Dean for our newly created Fort Collins branch. And Dr. Christy Reimer, the Assistant Dean for the Fort Collins branch. Dr. Regina Richards, who you hear from as soon as I shut up and get off the podium. Dr. Taylor Triello, who you already met, President of the Medical Alumni Association, and Dr. Linda Williams, the past president of the Medical Alumni Association. So my goal here is to say a couple things and then get out of the way and then let you hear from your chosen keynote speaker, Dr. Regina Richards. So I want to say a couple words about the white coat ceremony. For you students, this seems like a tradition in medicine, but for many of us on this stage, it did not exist when we went to medical school. So this was a ceremony that was started in the early 1990s by Dr. Gold, who also formed the Gold Humanism Society, to try to instill in all of you and all of us a reminder of the importance of humanism in medicine. There have been tremendous technological advances in the field of medicine over the course of my career. It would be easy to lose sight of the human connection that you heard Dr. Triolo mention in her remarks without consciously reminding ourselves of that fact. So this is a 30-ish year old ceremony, so older than most of our class, but younger than most of us on the stage here. It's an important milestone in your career. You know, the white coat is highly symbolic. You know, Madison Avenue has taken advantage of it. If you see a group of 4 people standing together in white coats, you automatically assume that they're physicians or scientists. That's sort of reflex. If you go into pediatrics, you will find that children will associate the white coat with being physicians and burst into tears at the sight of you because they think you're going to put a needle in their arm. It is a potent symbol. Now, if we were standing here in the late 1800s, we would all be in black coats because that was thought to be more formal. And then with the appreciation of the importance of antisepsis, the garb changed to the white coat so people could assess quickly whether a particular physician was practicing antiseptic technique. So it has become a powerful symbol. You will feel, class of 2025, a little weird when you first wear your white coats. You'll feel even stranger when somebody calls you doctor. Try not to jump and look startled. But it is an important milestone for all of you. I would close by echoing what Dr. Triolo said in her opening remarks. You all be getting stethoscopes today. We all carry them around. They're an important symbol of being a doctor. But even more important is where the stethoscope goes, which is in your ears. People talk about the hands of a surgeon or the eyes of a radiologist. But as you heard from Taylor, listening to patients is one of the most important things that we do as physicians. One of the advantages we have as physicians over our colleagues who practice veterinary medicine is our patients talk. If you let them talk. You know, the data shows that the average physician interrupts a patient after 18 seconds. So we are going to try to educate you not to be average. It is a great privilege in medicine to be able to talk to patients, to hear their stories, and to hear things that they don't tell anybody else. You know, there's this famous quote, is that to be a physician is to have a front row in the theater of life. And it's definitely true. You'll also be confronting people at a time and working with them as they make very important decisions, sometimes get great news, sometimes get really bad news. And patients will be nervous, like many of you may be today at the thought of what you're getting into. So try to keep that in mind when you communicate with patients. You know, there's a quote from the basketball player, Bill Walton, who said, "I learned long ago that minor surgery is when it happens to somebody else, not to you." So keep that in mind as you interact with patients. So it's now my pleasure to turn the podium over to Dr. Regina Richards, our keynote speaker today. Let me dial through here and get the appropriate introduction for Dr. Richards. Dr. Richards has been a long time member of our community here at the School of Medicine. She started her career at the forerunner of the hospital right behind you, a children's hospital when it's downtown, worked in our med school office of diversity and inclusion for years, got her doctorate degree, and is now the Associate Vice Chancellor for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Community Engagement for the Anschutz Medical Campus. I think you'll find her to be an energetic and dynamic speaker and an important ally for you as you move through your time on our campus. So Regina.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I love it when you talk back to me. Thank you, Dean Riley, for that introduction. Welcome to the first day of the long game. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the class of 2024 co-presidents Ava Stevenson and Andrew Mariotti, and members of the Student Council who selected me for this honor and privilege today of being a white coat ceremony speaker. What I see from here is breathtaking. I would invite you to take a minute to look around, to look at your peers, embrace the support systems that surround you here in this space, and to remember and think about those who helped you get here, including those who are not physically present here today. Dean Riley continuously reminds us that we are aspirational to be the best medical school. What we know is to be the best, we must be committed to accepting the best students and value diversity, not just in words, but in deeds and support. You are here because of the over 14,000 applicants received. We selected the best for our school. We're not box checking here. We're not trying to meet quotas. You are here because you worked hard and deserve this opportunity. We also know you had choices, and we appreciate that you chose us. This is your time. Embrace it. Here at the CU School of Medicine and on the Anschutz Medical Campus, we value diversity and are working to demonstrate it as well. Not performatively, not just in the moment, not just for the season, but strategically, sustainably, systemically. The new curriculum is a concrete example of hearing from students and them wanting additional training and education, which integrates basic science learning, which coincides with clinical training cycles, a curriculum that emphasizes understanding health systems and integrating service learning as a requirement for all students, and provides content to increase awareness about systems that perpetuate structural racism, microaggressions, bias at the individual, interpersonal, and structural levels, including the social determinants of health and their impact over the life course. Our commitment to health equity requires us to give all students, education and training which assist in shaping physicians who have cultural humility and will be culturally responsive to the patients who represent protective classes whose intersections of their identities include race, ethnicity, color, religion or creed, national origin or ancestry, sex, including gender, pregnancy, sexual orientation, and gender identity, age, physical and mental disabilities, veteran status, genetic information, citizenship, and we also include our undocumented population as well. Please hear this. The journey to success is not always paved with straight roads and clear signs. There are curves, sometimes unclear signs, even roadblocks. Today's ceremony signifies that this segment of the journey to becoming a physician begins with your renewed commitment to lifelong learning and being a servant of people. Welcome to the long game. Imagine, if you will, your favorite football team. You are the running back and we are the quarterbacks. Your job is to keep your eyes on the prize of obtaining your medical education and degree, which requires you to be open at all times. Our job is to keep you motivated, to call the plays from the playbook, which is the curriculum, and the longitudinal patient care experiences, which we keep driving while we keep driving the ball down the field so you can make the touchdown, graduation. However, we also have a responsibility to level the playing field. Key components for us in leveling the playing field include reducing or potentially eliminating any mistreatment, bias, marginalization that prevents you from getting to the goal. Part of that includes admitting we are not perfect. And we have not done things perfectly. However, we are committed to listening, learning from you so we can continue to grow, to change, and provide support systems where needed, with an understanding that one size does not fit all. We also need to meet you where you are. The culture of medicine historically has been white, male dominated, and very hierarchical. We are striving to be an inclusive campus and climate where everyone is respected and respectful to each other. A key ingredient for this cultural shift is that we support and encourage our faculty, staff, trainees, students, and our community members at large to seek to understand as you would seek to be understood. Be open to different perspectives. Your experiences may be different than someone else's. And those are the things that help to shape your perspectives. We must remember and embrace everyone's lived experiences are and will be different. We must learn that inclusivity means having respectful dialogue to hear others' perspectives. You may not agree with it, but don't diminish the difference. Tolerance is not a management strategy. It breeds division, not inclusion. Students, this is what the team needs from you. We need your courage, your curiosity, your innovation, your patience, your feedback, your engagement, your pride, your authenticity. We need hard work for you to be proactively accessing the resources available to you. In a recent conversation with my colleague, Dr. David Ecker, about today and how honored I am to be selected as a speaker, he reminded me The white coat does not mean students don't need to ask for help. They do not know it all. That said, you need to be open to change and understand that the transformational process from who you are today to becoming an MD will have joys and pains as you go through your professional identity formation. You will experience people from whom you have known most or all of your life. They will begin to see you differently. You will need to make certain that you always embrace who you are and who you are becoming throughout this process and journey. Remember to stay true to yourself. There will be times through your professional identity formation process that you will be uncomfortable. Some of your experiences in this system and in the other institutions, communities, encounters with individuals and families will cause you to question many things, including yourself. Your patient encounters will change you and hopefully change you for the better. Dean Zimmer and other colleagues share stories about the impact patients have on them and how patients and families continue to inspire them to be the very best they can be for those patients and families. Dr. Zimmer always talks about her patients from an individual and humanistic perspective, not from the perspective of diagnosis and diseases. What I know about physicians and other healthcare professionals, including myself, is how much we value the importance of the human connection. Remember to continually embrace that, especially when you face challenges that deplete you. For many of you, you will encounter the first time in your life here in medical school that you will experience failure. What I know for sure, based on my experiences with students, residents, and faculty, medical school is hard. Here's what can happen when you are struggling and when asked, how are you? Your consistent answer is, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Consequently, in all of your denial, you may find yourself before the promotions committee because you are struggling emotionally, psychosocially, academically, with the climate and culture of our campus, with the school, with the training institutes, and with Colorado. But you continue to say, I'm fine. My advice to you is to proactively reach out for help. When in doubt, check it out. Ask for help. You must learn self-care and how proactively to advocate for help. If you don't take care of yourself, you cannot be your best self for the patients, families, and communities you will serve. Burnout is real. Find your allies and access them. Additionally, if you see or experience mistreatment and/or bias, report it. Get support so you are not carrying that heavy load. Help us help you. Finally, be open and honest with your family and friends about your availability. You can't do everything you previously did before coming to medical school. You can't show up for all the family dinners, the events, etc., like you did before medical school. This includes weekend ski trips. That transition is not going to be easy, but it will be necessary. Schedule time for classes, to study, to sleep, to eat, limit extra activities. Oh yeah, and you can't work. By the way, skiing is a privilege that not everyone has. Be mindful of that when you hear from others who say, I don't ski. Extend invitations to other activities that may be more inclusive to others, and accept invitations from others as well. These are key components to building community capacity increasing one's sense of belonging and inclusion. Family members, please hear and understand that this is a requirement for your students' success. However, I'm sure when possible, sending or delivering meals are very much welcomed. I and we believe here at CU School of Medicine that we are known locally, regionally, nationally, and globally for educating and training some of the best and brightest physicians. Hashtag at CU, we see you. Welcome to the first day of your journey to achieving your goal of becoming a physician. Go long, and remember, the road to the goal line isn't straight and will challenge you while preparing you to be the type of physician that will be a leader who is curious and committed to health equity, which will have positive impact and influence systemically for better outcomes for the patients, families, and communities you serve. You will become agents of change, advocates and activists for social justice and equity for all. We believe in you and are committed to supporting you for this long game. It has been my honor to stand before you today and welcome you to the CU School of Medicine and the Anschutz Medical Campus. Stay safe and healthy and be well.
Thank you, Dr. Richards, for the powerful address. I think you can see, just based on the response from our class of 2022 members, how much she means to all of us on our campus. I can tell you personally, I could spend an hour up here talking about how much I've learned from her, but so much about understanding civility, equity, and perhaps most importantly, patience along this long journey to change. Regina, we can't thank you enough. My name is Brian Zwinell. I'm the Associate Dean of Student Life, and I have the privilege of introducing Dr. Gregory Bucci and the faculty awardees to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gregory Bucci, Faculty Senate President, and I'm honored to present our Faculty Professionalism Awards. This award recognizes individuals who have served as role models for professionalism, role models for students, residents, faculty, and other professional colleagues. It recognizes individuals who are known for compassion, for the respect for learners, for their commitment to service, and for their dedication to lifelong learning. It is my pleasure to present the 15th Annual Faculty Professionalism Award to 3 esteemed faculty members, 2 of which are in attendance today. Dr. Carlos Paredes is an associate professor in the Department of Medicine. Dr. Paredes is recognized as a dedicated leader and clinician. One nominating letter said, "Carlos advocates for the right things, both within and outside our institution, taking a stand, even when unpopular, to make sure we are all consistently honoring the core traditions of the profession of medicine." Dr. Jeremy Long is an associate professor in the Department of Medicine. Dr. Long is being recognized as a respected and dedicated clinician and educator. One nominating letter said, "Jeremy is a role model for professionalism who shows civil and courteous behavior in every situation. In support of staff and colleagues, he has a singular ability to facilitate strong, positive working relationships in support of patients, learners, and colleagues." Dr. Carol Okada is an associate professor in clinical practice in the Department of Pediatrics. Dr. Okada is being recognized as an influential clinician and educator. One nominating letter said, "She elegantly asks others to hold themselves to a high standard as physicians and people while simultaneously nurturing their growth and supporting them through difficult moments." Doctors Paredes and Long are here today to accept their awards, but unfortunately, Dr. Okada was not able to be here today. We want to extend our congratulations to these 3 amazing and inspiring colleagues. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Stephen Lowenstein, MD, MPH, Faculty Advisor to the Gold Humanism Society, Professor of Emergency Medicine and Medicine, and Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs.
At this time, will all of the honorees please join me on the stage? I am privileged to be with you today for the induction of new members into the School of Medicine's Gold Humanism Honor Society. 25 medical students from the class of 2022 were selected by their peers for this honor because they are extraordinary exemplars of humanistic patient care. The Arnold P. Gold Foundation is a national organization founded 33 years ago to help medical students and physicians in training and all of us learn to balance the high-tech skills of medical science with skills often attributed to the art of medicine, such as communication, compassion, and empathy. Because even as the business of medicine, big data, and medical technology grow at a rapid pace, the Gold Foundation and these 25 new members are champions for humanism as an enduring and essential component of patient care. On the hospital wards and in the clinics, these students offer not only their incredible knowledge, but also their curiosity, their words of encouragement, and their kindness. They remind us every day that the science of medicine and the art of medicine are inseparable. And when they are not studying, honing their clinical skills and preparing for any patient care challenge that might come their way, these students are also advocates for humanism in the world outside of medicine. They cannot and will not accept what they see in our communities. Thousands of COVID-19 deaths disproportionately affecting communities of color. Human beings who are unhoused or who are left in long food lines because they are hungry. Racism that cuts short so many lives and curtails life's potential. As George Thibault, past president of the Macy Foundation, wrote recently, it will be hard to have humanism in medicine if there is no humanism in the world around us. And one last point before we proceed to the formal induction. The Gold Humanism Honor Society is about more than a certificate and a gold pin. Each year, the new members of the Gold Humanism Honor Society, along with their classmates, complete different projects that stem from their own passion for humanistic medical care and community service. For example, in recent years, the GHHS students have led the student clinician ceremony to welcome rising third-year students to their clinical rotations. They have co-edited the publication Letters to a New Third-Year Student. They have published articles, for example, about using the electronic health record to promote humanistic and patient-centered care. They have served as mentors at the Mount St. Vincent Home for children who have experienced neglect, trauma, and abuse. And they have performed holiday songs for children and their families at Children's Hospital Colorado, bringing smiles, hope, and joy to the small humans, their family members, and the hospital staff. And every year, the GHHS students spend Valentine's Day with patients at the University of Colorado Hospital, Children's Hospital Colorado, Memorial Hospital in Colorado Springs, and the State Veterans Nursing Home. This activity is called Love Rounds. The students bring handmade cards and flowers to these inpatients. They stay for an hour or two just to talk and laugh and share stories and love as they celebrate Valentine's Day with their new friends. Of course, the students do have to create the Valentine's Day cards themselves. And this activity requires preparation and pre-rounding and technical skill and card-making expertise and a large supply of construction paper, crayons, glue sticks, and glitter. And now to our new students of the class of 2025, just one brief message. I encourage you to look to these honorees of the class of 2022 as role models for the art of doctoring. And over the next 4 years, you will spend thousands of hours learning about health and disease in lecture halls and in small groups, and on the wards and in operating rooms and emergency departments and in clinics and offices all over Colorado. But learning the 5 branches of the superior mesenteric artery, a topic that will, by the way, appear in the first year curriculum, isn't all you need to know. These Gold Humanism Honor Society students who first donned their own white coats at this ceremony just 3 years ago, they believe in you. They are counting on you to remain compassionate and humanistic in all your endeavors, to care for your patients and for each other, and to hold on to your dreams. Simply put, they are asking you never to give up on who you are. And now to the new inductees of the class of 2022. Each of you has been selected as a member of the Gold Humanism Honor Society because your peers and all of us believe you have demonstrated excellence in clinical care, leadership, caring and compassion, and service. You were selected because, in a word, you have the human touch. And another note, just a heads up, you are all standing on the stage by the table with all those brand new Littman cardiology stethoscopes. Don't even think about it. And now I would like to introduce Dr. Austin Butterfield, who will greet each new inductee and hand them their GHHS certificate. Dr. Butterfield is Professor of Psychiatry, Associate Director of Medical Student Education for the Department of Psychiatry, and Clinical Content Director for Psychiatry, and the Faculty Advisor for the Gold Humanism Resident Chapter. He's a graduate of the University of Colorado School of Medicine, my former student mentee, and now a trusted and sought-after mentor for medical students at every stage of their training. And I also want to reintroduce Dr. Brian Dwinell, who will introduce each new inductee. Dr. Dwinell is Professor of Clinical Medicine and Associate Dean for Student Life. He was the first faculty advisor for the Gold Humanism Honor Society and has always been a champion for compassionate and patient-centered care. Dr. Dwinell is also a champion for compassionate and student-centered teaching. Dean Dwinell spends every day focusing on medical student success, guiding students along their medical school journey, and helping each student find their place in the medical profession. Please walk across the stage as your name is called by Dean Dwinell.
Thank you, Steve, for that kind introduction. He asked me what I wanted him to say in an introduction. And I told him all he needed to say was, I taught that guy everything he needed to know when he was in the ER as an intern. I actually almost changed my career choice because of working with Dr. Lowenstein. He's pretty remarkable. I do have the honor of introducing our new inductees for the Gold Humanism Honor Society. One thing I like to say about students today versus my colleagues, and I know I speak for them, those of my colleagues that are on the stage. When I went to medical school, there's no doubt that I wanted to have the opportunity to impact lives. The difference between my generation and your generation is physicians today and trainees today not only want to impact individual lives, they want to change the world. And when you hear some of the interests of these individuals and some of their accomplishments, I know you'll agree with me. So I'd like to start with Zaid Bahrani. Zaid is a class co-president of the class of 22, a lover of board games and a founder of the School of Medicine soccer team. Zaid is currently doing research about our campus climate and ways to improve student experience. He likes walks in the park and sunsets on the beach with Amon Messina and Vishnu Krishnan, who you'll hear about later. Our next inductee, Oluwatosin Adebayi. Tosin is an empowerer who's dedicated to elevating the voice of students and partnering with the community to sow seeds of hope. As a master in interdisciplinary public health, she intends to pursue child psychiatry, use her background in community-based participatory research to activate healing and potential for children of color. Lane Anderson. Lane is grateful for the opportunities offered to her by being a University of Colorado medical student and a member of the greater Denver community to expand her service and education of marginalized people. As she moves ahead in her career, she feels compelled to stay engaged with people, for example, who need hospice care but are without housing, people in immigration detention centers, and anyone who needs to feel seen in a chaotic world. Jenna Bonfilio. Jenna is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and is pursuing a career in OBGYN. Her passion for service began with 2 years as an AmeriCorps volunteer and continued with the CU Urban Underserved Tract and involvement with various advocacy efforts. She hopes to use the skills she has learned in her various volunteer and leadership roles to improve individual and community health in underserved communities through patient care and research. Yasmine Dakamo. Yasmine is curious about how health intersects with history and culture and investigates this through art and curricular development with some fellow classmates. She continues to be interested in community health and how to meet people where they're at. Ignacio Gutierrez Beasley. Ignacio is going into family medicine as she's very passionate about women's health, minority health, community service, Spanish-speaking populations, and mentorship, especially within communities of color. She implemented and led a specialty LGBTQ+ clinic night at the Dawn student-run free clinic, providing basic medical care and gender-affirming therapy to an uninsured and heavily Spanish-speaking population. Frankie Jenny. Frankie grew up in Columbus, Ohio, but he and his fiancee, Eileen, have come to consider Colorado home since moving out here for undergraduate years ago. He is passionate about primary care and is excited to pursue a career in family medicine as a doctor practicing full spectrum care in a rural community. Melissa Johnson. Missy believes that sometimes we can make the most impact by healing our patients with compassion and understanding rather than medicine. As a GHHS member, she hopes to continue serving the patients and community members of Denver while putting humanism and kindness first. Troy Kincaid. Troy is a fun-loving learner from Lindenhurst, Illinois, and is excited to study resiliency across the lifespan as a med-peds doctor. He's so grateful for his mom, Joey, and girlfriend, Heather, for their support throughout school and at today's event. Christine Krintz. Christine is from Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and is pursuing a career in family medicine. She has been an active participant in the rural program throughout her time at CU and hopes to continue to serve Colorado's underserved rural population as a future doctor. Vishal Krishnan. Vishal is an aspiring surgeon or anesthesiologist who has a passion for serving underrepresented communities and has helped manage a program that brings middle school students to the medical campus to expose them to the possibilities of a higher education. His interests include making movies, watching sports, and playing spike ball with Zaid. Win Liu. Win has a strong passion for global health leadership and teaching, along with playing board games with his friends. His current adventure is learning magic tricks to use as physical exam maneuvers, and he is pursuing a career in academic pediatrics. Vikasini Mahalingam. Vikas was born at University Hospital and never left. She is an aspiring anesthesiologist who is passionate about dismantling systems of oppression, injustice, and structural violence, just like her amazing mother. Her hobbies include listening to smooth jazz, cooking, and posting kind Google reviews as a level 5 Google local guide. Maggie Mcking. Maggie is originally from Chicago and pursuing a career in general surgery with an interest in trauma and critical care. She looks forward to embarking on a career that prioritizes patient-centered care. And in the meantime, she looks forward to enjoying her time as a fourth-year student. And sleeping, she just added. Amon Messina. Amon's passions revolve around mentorship, education, and sports. He helped develop a leadership development program for high schoolers from disadvantaged backgrounds. He's also known for his unstoppable jump shots and enjoys walks in the park with Zaid. Elio Neves da Silva. Elio is an influential and dedicated leader on campus, especially through his roles in White Coats for Black Lives and the Black Student Collective. As a member of the Gold Humanism Honor Society, he is committed to advocating on behalf of his patients, colleagues, and the community throughout his career. Stephanie Wagoo. Stephanie is from Aurora, Colorado, and is pursuing a career in obstetrics and gynecology. Stephanie recently graduated with her master's in public health and plans to combine her clinical interests with her public health research in order to use health systems innovations to ensure equitable reproductive health outcomes for women of color. Eniola Ogundipe. Eniola is pursuing a career in urology with a special interest in reconstructive urology. Eniola is passionate about patient-centered research outcomes. Ilona Schwartz. Ilona is from Aspen, Colorado, and applying to orthopedics. She remains inspired by her experience as a patient with 5 knee surgeries and hopes that she can be a role model and teacher to her patients. Chris Simon. From his start in healthcare as a cardiac lab technologist to the medicine wards today, Chris Simon has always known the importance of supporting and being supported by teams who share the goal of caring for patients. As a future family physician, he hopes to work in a team with other fellow healthcare professionals in order to lovingly provide medical care to anyone regardless of age, gender, background, and circumstance, with a special focus on the LGBT community and the underserved. Edward Soto. As a certified translator, Eddie is proud to help provide equitable care to our Spanish-speaking patients. He looks forward to his career in pediatric medicine and wants to ensure that his approach to care remains patient-centered and rooted in justice. Dorothy Stearns. Dottie is from Atlanta, Georgia, and is pursuing a career in pediatric surgery with an emphasis on advocacy for public health. She currently serves as the Medical Student Council Executive President on campus. Scott Stewart. Scott is originally from Colorado and will be pursuing a career in pediatrics. During his time at school, at the School of Medicine, his interest in pediatrics have driven his work with the Health Beginnings Clinic at Warren Village, the EB Multidisciplinary Clinic at Children's Hospital, and after-school science education programs for local students in Aurora. We have several other inductees who are not able to join us today, and I'd like to recognize them. First, we have Amelia Davis, Kiyomi Dowd, Sayori Hygo, Marcus Marabo, William Mundo, Brianna Tolbert, and Emily Wolverton. I'd like to invite Dr. Lowenstein back to the podium.
Thank you. And before we ask you to recite the oath, GHHS class of 2022, I want to thank all of you. Thank you for your commitment to medical excellence and compassionate patient care. Thank you for advocating for equity and for working to amplify the voices of others who have been marginalized or forgotten. And thank you for all those times you put your own well-being on hold just for a moment so that you might make a difference in someone else's life. And we will now ask you to recite the Gold Humanism Honor Society oath, and by doing so, affirm your commitment to being a champion for humanistic care throughout your careers and to safeguarding these important values of the profession of medicine. Please join me in reciting the Gold Humanism Honor Society oath. Please read along with me. I pledge that all I hold dear as a physician, I will care for my patients with compassion, respect, empathy, integrity, and clinical excellence. I will listen to my patients with my whole being. I will advocate for each patient as a unique individual. I will serve as a role model to promote humanism in healthcare. I will remember always the healing power of acts of caring. I will dedicate myself to joining with others to make healthcare optimal for all. Welcome to the Gold Humanism Honor Society, whose mission is to preserve humanism along with scientific excellence in healthcare. You will always be a part of that mission. And to all of you, I present to you the members of the Gold Humanism Honor Society of the class of 2022. And now I would like to introduce our next speaker. Maddie Mendlin is a third-year medical student and an aspiring neurosurgeon. Originally from Seattle, Washington, Maddie moved to Colorado after graduating from the University of Southern California. She is a member of the National Medical Student Pride Alliance leadership team. And here at CU, she is a leader of the Future Scientists program, where she and her colleagues mentor elementary school students and introduce them to the excitement and wonders of science. Maddie loves patient care, but she also loves computer sciences and she has found a home working on machine learning projects in the neurosurgery research lab. Maddie told me how excited she is to be here today to speak to the class of 2025. And she will now tell us about the importance of gratitude and about the gratitude journals that you will soon receive. Please welcome Maddie Mendlin.
Good morning. My name is Maddie Mendlin, and I'm a third-year medical student here at the University of Colorado. First of all, congratulations. You're officially beginning your journey here with the CU School of Medicine. This is a very special time, and we're excited to have you. Now, I have to be honest with you. The field of medicine is struggling. We have healthcare workers who spent the past year facing a barrage of unimaginable trauma. We have medical students who struggled with isolation after a year of online medical school. This journey you're embarking on, it's hard. But I don't regret a thing about pursuing medicine, despite the many challenges encountered. And do you know why? Community. Now, I'm not talking about making as many surface level friendships as possible, or even professional networking, but rather true, deep, have each other's backs when stuff hits the fan community. The people that will push you to be better, that will hold you accountable and inspire you to be a better activist and advocate, that will work with you so that one day, as you walk across the stage with 2 extra letters at the end of your name, you will leave the CU School of Medicine better than you found it. That's how we move from simply surviving this past year to thriving. Community. The person in your class who you later bare your soul to, talk about your deepest fears with, come to sit with after you lose your first patient, you may not come to know them for a while. Your best friends, you may not find them until 2 years in, when you get to see the awe-inspiring compassion your classmate displays towards a patient during a psychiatry small group. Maybe it's after a really hard day when you're debating going on antidepressants, despite the stigma that you feel around mental health treatment as a future medical provider, feeling alone, and one of your classmates just sees you. They take your hand and sit with you, ask if they can bring you dinner later. Community is what the gift you'll soon receive is all about. It's about finding those small moments of sunshine on dark days, or those big, beautiful bursts of light that energize you, make you excited about medicine, leave you borderline giddy after a day in the OR. Today, I have the honor of introducing this special gift, a gratitude journal. Mine is very worn down and well used. It'll be distributed to you in the coming days. These journals have been thoughtfully created at the hands of many individuals here, including medical students, practicing physicians, and administrators. My challenge to you as you embark on this next stage of your career is to search out 3 of those moments of light every day and write them down. Gratitude is positively linked to personal and job satisfaction and inversely correlated with burnout. There will be difficult times on your path, but I also hope this time will be transformative and empowering. You will have patients of your own who will look to you and they'll trust you and want your guidance. You will become a witness to disease alongside its victims. It's an immense responsibility and a profound privilege. Our hope is that through the ups and downs of the years to come, you will practice gratitude each day and you will benefit from positive reflection. My philosophy that I'd like to share with you all today is grateful realism. Anyone who knows me well knows that I'm all about a good petition, a tough question in a town hall, or a conversation with faculty about how we can better protect our marginalized peers. I don't hesitate to be honest about my experiences as a survivor and an LGBTQ+ person in medicine. Gratitude doesn't mean giving up that part of you, the part that fights for change, the part that's fueled by an activist fire. Don't ever let those parts of you fade away, because trust me, medicine needs those parts. Don't let your fire consume you. Don't forget the allies you have within the system. Make sure you use a foundation of love to build your community of people who share your values, your drive, and your underlying compassion. If you get too lost in the sunshine and optimism, you may miss the suffering that your neighbor is shouldering, and leave them to carry that burden alone. If you get swallowed up in the flaws within medicine, you'll lose that ever important fire itself and won't have the energy you need to keep moving towards the change you want to see in the world. I can hold in one hand the reality of how much further this field has to go, and still hold in my other hand the beauty of getting the gift to practice medicine, and to practice it with the inspiring community I've formed here. People who connect me back to my why. I think the magic recipe is a balance of hope and realism. And this gratitude journal is an important step to keep filling up your hopeful, grateful cup. 3 things you're grateful for every day. No sentiment is too small. Be grateful for hot coffee, meaningful conversations with faculty, donuts at the hospital cafeteria, patient who made you laugh, or peers helping you study for the next exam. Everything counts. During many early mornings and late nights, I found comfort in being mindful of how grateful I am to be here, studying for that test, to wake up extra early to talk to a patient, and to spend time learning physiology so I can prepare to be a physician in a profession that focuses on caring for others. This journey is a privilege. The feeling that I'm deeply grateful to be in medicine hasn't left me through my medical education, and I hope it inspires all of you as you begin yours. Welcome again to the CU School of Medicine, and good luck.
Good morning. I'm Jeff Truck, Assistant Dean of Student Affairs, and I'm joined by Dr. Deborah Seymour, Interim Assistant Dean of Student Affairs. Before we begin with the white coat ceremony, I want to recognize the alumni and donors for their generous contribution to the education of our medical students. We also want to take a moment to honor and thank those who have served or are actively serving in our military to stand up and please be recognized. Please join me in thanking them for their service. Before we begin the white coat ceremony, I do want to offer the class of 2025 that initial thought to focus on what Maddie said and to think about gratitude. And with that being said, we know that all of us do not get here alone. All of us rely on the folks that are sitting behind you in the rows and that are joining us on the live stream. So if you could join me in thanking those who helped you get here. We now invite members of the class of 2025 to come to the stage to be introduced. Jordan Coulter will release you by rows from the outside aisles. Will the first department chair please stand and prepare to present the white coats? Our department chairs or the representatives will place your white coat, and a member of the Alumni Association will hand you your stethoscope. As part of their orientation, the class of 2025 wrote an honor code statement, which is found in your program. Dr. Jeff Suhu, Assistant Dean of Admissions, will have the students sign this honor statement as they leave the stage. This honor statement will later be framed and hung in the lecture hall during your journey through the curriculum. Ready? To begin, Sina Abedi received a BS in biology from the University of California, Irvine.
Brandon Abel received a BA in physiology from University of Colorado and a certificate in public health from the University of Colorado Boulder.
Kate Abe Ridgway received a BS in biotechnology from the University of California, Davis.
AJ Aducci II received a BS in biology from Pepperdine University.
Trisha Argawal received a BS in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology from the University of California, Los Angeles.
Jorge Agudelo received a BA in anthropology and a BA in chemistry from Florida University, International University.
Mo Ahmed received a BS in biology from the University of Northern Colorado.
Kate Alder received a BS in human biology from Stanford University.
Mauricio Alvarez received a BA in biology from the University of Pennsylvania.
Rima Amin received a BA in sociology from Northwestern University.
Aiden Amiri received a BS in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology from the University of California, Los Angeles.
Chiegozim Anibogu received a BA in biology and religious studies from Macalester College.
Andy Asensio received a BS in biology from the University of California, Los Angeles.
Chrissy Austin received a double major BA in French and Immunology Infectious Disease from the University of California, Berkeley.
Amandip Bangar received a double major BS in microbiology and nanoengineering from the University of California, San Diego, and a master's of science in biomedical engineering from Cornell University.
Jordan Banker received a BS in biology from Missouri Southern State University.
Alex Baroni Camp received a BA in molecular biology from Colorado College.
Luis Barrientos received a BS in neurobiology from the University of Texas, Austin.
Hayden Barrows received a BS in nutrition and health sciences from the University of Nebraska, Lincoln.
Ligia Batista Silverman received a BA in theater and a BS in neuroscience from Quest University and a Master of Arts in Theater from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Shivani Bell received a BS in biology from Emory University.
Wilson Belk received a BA in physiology from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Brandon Bellin received a BS in biochemistry from Indiana University, Bloomington.
Tyler Benji Benjamin received a Bachelor of Music Education from Auburn University and a Master's in Music in Euphonium Performance from University of Colorado.
Owen Berg received a double major BS in biology and psychology from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Emily Bergel received a BS in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology from the University of Washington.
Duncan Biggin received a BS in biology from the University of California, San Diego.
Lindy Bishak received a BS in mathematics from Mary Baldwin University and a Master of Science in Statistics from Colorado State University.
India V. Bonner received a BS in biology from the University of Colorado, Denver, and an Associate of Science degree from the Community College of Aurora.
Michael Reinhardt Boyson received a BS in mechanical engineering from Iowa State University and a Master of Science in biomedical engineering from the University of Minnesota.
Mackenzie Bremmel received a BS in neuroscience from the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities.
Allison Broad received a BS in kinesiology from University of Illinois at Chicago.
Erica Bungie received a BS in physiology from Seattle Pacific University.
Jamie Burke received a BS in biomedical sciences from Colorado State University.
Tony Calderon received a BA in organismal biology and ecology from Colorado College.
Julia Canty received a BS in engineering from the University of Notre Dame.
Annie Sao received a BS in microbiology from Oregon State University.
Kylie Capetta received a BA in psychology from Barnard College.
Melissa Carpenter received a BS in biochemistry from the University of Southern California.
Sophia Celli received a BA in biology from the University of Virginia.
Neil Chandani received a BS in chemical engineering from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and a Master's of Science in Biomedical Sciences from the University of Miami.
Rehan Chowdhury received a double major BA in neuroscience and in Arabic from Washington University in St. Louis.
Victoria Clare received a BS in Applied Physiology and Kinesiology from the University of Florida.
Rebecca Coelho received a BS in biology from Northeastern University.
Alyssa Cole received a BA in Psychology and Spanish from the University of Portland.
Gabriel Coleman received a BA in history from Wheaton College.
Scott Collins received a BS in biology from Butler University and a Master's of Arts in Anthropology from Arizona State University.
Josh Cooper received a BS in neuroscience from Colorado State University.
Leah Crawford received a BS in human biology from the University of California, Santa Cruz.
Taylor Christ received a BA in neuroscience from University of Colorado, Boulder.
Kylene DeSmith received a BS in biology from Tufts University.
Armand Dillon received a double major BA in biochemistry and mathematics from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Kate Dickinson received a BS in biology from South Dakota School of Mines and Technology and a Master's of Science in Biomedical Engineering from South Dakota School of Mines and Technology.
Kathy Ding received a BS in molecular environmental biology and nutritional sciences toxicology from the University of California, Berkeley.
Nicholas Doe received a BS in Biological Sciences from the University of California, Irvine.
Manisha Dubey received a BS PH in Health Policy and Management from University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Selin Ikiji received a BS in Chemistry from Emory University.
Elena Esch received a BS in Neuroscience from Lafayette College.
Joy Eskandar received a BS in Human Biology from the University of California, San Diego.
River Evans received a BA in Physiology from the University of Colorado Boulder and a Master of Science in Biomedical Science from Colorado State University.
Nick Phelan received a BA in Biology and Biochemistry from Lawrence University.
Katya Feldman received a BA in Political Science from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Jen Felker received a BA in Psychology from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Kevin Flores received a BS in Cell and Developmental Biology from the University of California, Santa Barbara.
Carly Forrest received a BS in Biology from Colorado State University.
North Fulon received a BS in Chemistry and Biology from Pacific Lutheran University.
Bridget Foy received a BS in Marine Biology from the University of California, Los Angeles.
Douglas Fritz received a BS in American Studies and Biology from St. Louis University.
Eric Fu received a BA in Biology from the University of California, Berkeley, and a Master's of Science from Georgetown University.
Robert Fuller received a BA in Political Science from the Citadel and a Juris Doctorate from Mercer University.
Kavya Ganuthula received a BS in Public Health from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Lizzie Garcia Creighton received a BA in Biology and Biochemistry from Lawrence University.
Colin Gardner received a BS in Physiology and Developmental Biology and a BA in Spanish Studies from Brigham Young University.
Asra Garusi received a BS in Neuroscience from the University of California, Santa Cruz.
Sam Gendelman received a BA in Physiology from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Julia Gonsalves received a BS in Biology from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Maxim Gorichuk received a BS in Biochemistry and Molecular Biology from the University of California, Santa Cruz.
Austin Gronwald received a BS in Biology from the University of Oklahoma.
Junha Gu received a BA in Molecular Biology from Pomona College.
Sheila Gupta received a BS in Biochemistry from the University of Buffalo.
Anna Ha received a BA in neuroscience from Wellesley College.
Darren Ha received a BS in Physiologic Science from the University of California, Los Angeles, and a Master of Science from the University of Southern California, Keck School of Medicine.
Teresa Hackler received a BA in history from Pacific Lutheran University.
Elijah Hale received a BA in Spanish from the University of Rochester and a Master of Science in Medical Education from the University of Rochester.
Lauren Harris received a BS in molecular and cellular biology from Johns Hopkins University.
Gabby Helton received a BA in Neuroscience from Dartmouth College.
Rachel Henderson received a BFA in art conservation and a BA in chemistry from the University of Denver.
Stephen Haliger III received a BS in chemistry from Regis University.
Ankit Hirpara received a BA in molecular and cellular biology from the University of California, Berkeley.
Dakota Hitchcock received a BA in physiology from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Alex Ho received a BS in bioengineering from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Cody Horstman received a BA in music theory and composition from the University of Vermont.
Caitlin Hott received a BS in biology from the University of Portland.
Miho Huang received a BA in political science and a BS in biologic sciences from the University of Southern California.
Tyler Igo received a BA in economics from the University of Mississippi.
Claire Jacobson received a BA in English from Stanford University and a Master of Science in Community Health and Prevention Research from Stanford University.
Jesse Jong received a BS in biology and BA in music performance from Emory University.
Adriana Caden received a BS in microbiology from the University of Michigan.
Devonte Keyoung received a BS in biochemistry from Clemson University.
Matt Kennis received a BS in neuroscience from the University of Southern California. Evan Kikla received a BS in biology from the College of William and Mary.
Clinton Kimsey received a BA in chemistry from Emory University.
Divya Kling received a BS in kinesiology from the College of William and Mary.
Aaron Nieskern received a BA in biochemistry and psychology from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Riley Knott received a BS in science Computing from the University of Notre Dame.
Celia Kohler received a BS in psychology from Duke University.
Michael Kwong received a BA in chemistry from Amherst College.
Jennifer Lai received a BS in biological sciences from the University of California, Irvine.
Kaylin Langer received a BS in neurobiology and gender and women's studies from the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Anna Lee received a BS in neuroscience and a BA in dance from the University of Washington.
Bridget Lerman received a BS in psychology from the University of California, Davis, and a Master of Public Health from University of California, Los Angeles.
Katie Lewis received a BS in biology from Xavier University.
Chun Lee received a BS in biochemistry and molecular biology, mathematics, and a BA in music from the University of Richmond, and a Master of Public Health and Epidemiology from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor.
Scott Lynn received a BS in bioengineering from the greatest university in the world, Rice University.
Tiana Linkus received a BS in cell biology and neuroscience from Montana State University.
Willow Liu received a BS PH in nutrition from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Abigail Ludwigson received a BS in biology from Georgetown University.
James Manor received a BS in business administration from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and a Master's of Science from Colorado State University, and is not here today because he's getting married.
Aditya Mantha received a BA in molecular and cellular biology from the University of California, Berkeley.
Brittany Marks received a BA in physiology from the University of Colorado Boulder.
Taylor Martinez received a BS in physiology from the University of Arizona and a Master of Science in Physiological Sciences from the University of Arizona.
Madison March received a BS in biomedical sciences from Northern Arizona University.
Sam Mathai received a BA in molecular biology from Colorado College.
Ocean Mao received a BS in psychology from Syracuse and an MA in counseling from Northwestern University.
Martin Maxwell received a Bachelor of Social Work from Colorado State University and a Master of Social Work from Colorado State University.
Megan Mazzata received a BS in biology from Gonzaga University.
Marlena McClellan received a BS in biology and a BA in poli-sci from the University of Alabama.
Sarah McDonald received a BS in biochemistry from the University of Denver.
Dylan McKinley received a BS in biomedical engineering from the University of Southern California.
Dylan Mckinley received a BS in Chemical and Biological Engineering from the University of Colorado Boulder.
Molly Murphy received a BS in Science Business from the University of Notre Dame.
Isabella Narvaez received a BA in Biology from Wellesley College.
Jordan Nelson received a BS in Biomedical Sciences from Colorado State University.
Kwa Win received a BS in Biology from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Noah Nigro received a BS in Biology Neuroscience from Washington University in St. Louis.
Caitlin O'Mealy Hummer received a double major BS in Botany and Biology from Oregon State University.
Karima Osman received a BS in Public Health from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Sonali Pandiri received a BA in Gender Studies from Amherst College.
Tyler Park received a BS in Nursing from the University of Nevada, Reno.
Una Park received a BA in Anthropology and Biology from Vanderbilt University and a Master of Science in Modern Human Anatomy from the University of Colorado, Anschutz.
Jamie Fall received a BA in Physiology and Russian Studies from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Jake Plaisted received a BS in Biology from Suffolk University.
Nick Kwan received a BS in Biological Sciences from the University of South Carolina.
Caitlin Robinson received a BS in Molecular Environmental Biology, Environment and Human Health from the University of California, Berkeley, and a Master's of Public Health from George Washington University.
Sophie Rosenberg received a BS in Public Health from the University of Massachusetts, Amherst.
Marika Rosetto received a BS in Nutritional Biology from the University of California, Davis.
Dan Sachs received a BS in Biology from the U.S. Air Force Academy.
Eric Salinger received a BA in Biology Neuroscience from Washington University in St. Louis.
Alessandra Santiago received a BS in Earth Systems from Stanford University and a Master of Science in Earth Systems from Stanford University.
Tristan Seawalt received a BS in Physics from the Colorado School of Mines and a Master's of Science in Qualitative Biosciences from the Colorado School of Mines.
Connor Sikora received a BS in Chemical and Biochemical Engineering from the Colorado School of Mines and a Master of Science in Human Anatomy from the University of Colorado, Anschutz.
Sarah Simpson received a BA in International Affairs from the University of Colorado Boulder.
Sarah Shortall received a BA in neuroscience from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Anima Shrestha received a BS in human biology from Stanford University.
Jason Sidrak received a BS in biological sciences from the University of California, Santa Barbara.
Solomon Sindelar received a BS in biology from Fort Lewis College.
Carolyn Smith received a BS in cognitive and brain science from Tufts University.
Kate Smith Kelson received a BA in art history from Colorado College.
Andy Steiner received a BS in chemical engineering and a BS in economics from the University of Washington.
Brian Swanson received a BA in biochemistry from Colorado College.
Adnan Syed received a BS in public health from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Hillary Ta received a BS in biology from the University of California, Santa Barbara.
Teresa Tafoya received a BS in biology from Regis University.
Sahit Talachutla received a BS in biology from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Katie Thompson received a double major BA in Spanish and microbiology from the University of Kansas and a Master of Public Health from the University of Colorado School of Public Health.
Anthony Tran received a BA in psychology from the University of California, Irvine.
Raj Trikha received a BS in health and exercise science from Colorado State University and a Master of Science in Human Nutrition from Colorado State University.
Ryan Singh received a BS in biology from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Ryan Turner received a BA in physiology from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Sam Van Hook received a double major BA in geography and political science from Trinity College, Dublin, and a Master's of Science from the London School of Economics.
Sylvia Vetter received a BS in pharmaceutical sciences from University of California, Irvine.
Gabe Villavicencio received a BA in physiology from the University of Colorado, Boulder.
Carolyn Walsh received a BS in movement science from University of Michigan.
Maggie Waters received a BA in chemistry and biology from Mississippi College.
Carolyn Watts received a BS in biology from Metropolitan State University of Denver.
Philip Winters received a BS in molecular cell and developmental biology from the University of California, Los Angeles.
Caleb Whip received a BS in chemistry from University of Northern Colorado and a Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences from Colorado State University.
Priya Wolf received a BA in journalism from Colorado State University.
Matthew Wong received a BS in economics from Northeastern University.
Husna Yassini received a BA in Spanish from the University of Colorado, Denver.
Yu Jin Yoon received, I'm going to try that again. Yu Jin Yoon received a BS in biology and community health from Tufts University.
Alexander Zhang received a BS in human biology from the University of California, San Diego.
And last but not least, Patrick Zimmerman received a BS in physics and mathematics from the University of Puget Sound.
For those of you who don't know, Patrick Zimmerman is fresh off of a recent appearance on the OR table for appendicitis. I now invite Dr. Jeffrey Suhu, Assistant Dean for Admissions, to come back up to the podium to lead the class of 2025 students in reciting their honor code statement.
All right, good morning. Class of 2025, please stand up. And please recite with me your class honor code statement. We, the University of Colorado School of Medicine, class of 2025, hold ourselves accountable and answerable to our patients, our colleagues, and the evolving standards of the profession into which we are about to enter. We will foster a nurturing and caring environment that will laud our merits and support us through challenge. In the pursuit of personal and academic growth, we shall remember to protect our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. We will act with integrity, empathy, and humility, recognizing the responsibility and privilege that comes with our chosen profession. We will respect, value, and honor the diverse experiences of our patients and our community with a deliberate intent to welcome, listen, and integrate insights from all perspectives. We will pursue justice, equity, and equality, emboldening and encouraging others to do the same. We will empower our patients to understand and take an active role in their health and wellness. We will recognize and challenge the obstacles that perpetuate marginalization and disparity. We commit to earnestly pursue the advancement of medicine as lifelong learners. We will strive for excellence in ourselves and our colleagues for the benefit of society. We commit to be leaders and servants, and we acknowledge and embrace the responsibility that is intrinsic to the profession of medicine. We pledge to be relentless in our daily commitment to improving ourselves, our communities, and the lives of our patients to create a better tomorrow. Please be seated. Dr. Grinnell, closing remarks.
That was a wonderful statement, by the way, and I know that you're going to embody that spirit. Well, congratulations and welcome to the profession of medicine. Class of 2025, this begins your journey and you have our promise we'll be by your side all the way. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you all for joining us today.